This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the Kickstart Your U.S. Department of Energy SolarDecathlon 2020 Design Challenge project. My name is Rachel Romero, and I'm your Design Challenge Competition Manager. Also today with me, I have Sam Rashkin, SolarDecathlon Co-Director, and Zachary Peterson, Design Challenge Assistant Competition Manager. Today, we are going to give an introduction to the SolarDecathlon Design Challenge, give you some details around competing as a student team, and talk about the first deliverable, the project introduction. Then we'll conclude with a few reminder items. So to kick off our webinar today, Sam Rashkin, Chief Architect in the Building Technologies Office at the U.S. Department of Energy and SolarDecathlon Co-Director, is going to give us some information. Sam?
Hey, thanks, Rachel. Let's start with what is the SolarDecathlon. And very simply, it's a student design competition for professional degree students. And there are 10 contests, and it challenges students to team up and work on highly creative, efficient, innovative buildings powered by renewable energy. We want to bring students to really be at the forefront of where the market's going, and definitely the market's going to zero. So that leads us to what our mission is with the SolarDecathlon Design Challenge. And there are three parts to this. One is, at the very beginning, we want to make sure students are introduced to building science education and acquire key skills. Building science fundamentally will determine whether buildings work or fail. We're in the age where even the minimum code buildings are very well insulated and very well air sealed, and it brings a whole set of challenges that can only be managed with comprehensive building science. The second goal for the competition is we want to advance building science curriculum for that same reason. So through the competition, we find that we're able to penetrate a lot of programs and make building science more core to the curriculum, and that's a huge goal for what we're trying to do. Finally, we want to inspire the next generation of buildings workforce to have these skills and really get excited on any number of ways in their career to apply them. So that's what we're trying to do with this competition. Back to you, Rachel.
So in the one competition, we have two challenges. There is the Design Challenge and the Build Challenge. The 2020 Build Challenge is currently underway, and we'll look forward to results in summer 2020 from that challenge. The Design Challenge, which we'll be discussing today, has both commercial and residential divisions, and both challenges compete within the same 10 contests. Those 10 contests include energy performance, engineering, financial feasibility and affordability, resilience, architecture, operations, market potential, comfort and environmental quality, innovation, and presentation. Teams must do well across all contests to win. So participants in the Design Challenge generate creative solutions for real-world issues in our nation's building industry. Participating teams complete a design project and attend the competition event, where they present their designs to a panel of industry expert jurors. Designs must meet Zero Energy Ready building standards. The Design Challenge is meant to encourage student participation for 1 or 2 academic semesters, concluding in the spring with a project presentation and our awards banquet. Since 2014, over 3,100 students have been inspired through the Design Challenge. We've had over 200 finalist teams that have competed from 88 collegiate institutions, and we've seen a significant growth in participation over these few years of the competition. We have engaged many industry experts as sponsors, mentors, and jurors, which has then really ensured that building science curriculum has been disseminated cost effectively across the industry. So we are now competing in 6 building types, and we've recently added the 2 commercial building types of elementary school and office buildings. Back to you, Sam.
Hey, thank you, Rachel. So it brings us to the stars of the challenge. And looking over the years 2014 to 2019, it's just really impressive to see how big a range of geographic coverage we have in the US and Canada. Without going through all the institutions that have been participants, it's been really exciting to see such a broad level of interest across so many different types of schools and programs. So really exciting growth throughout the country. But it's not just in the US. If we move forward to look at the more global experience of what's happening with the SolarDecathlon Design Challenge, we see that we cover up to 6 continents with this program, and students coming from across such a large range of countries and distance. And what's really impressive about this is, of course, our program is not promoted nearly as highly outside of the US, and it's really so interesting to see how well it can be picked up just globally as a program. So there you have that. And it brings us to what drives all this interest. Why are students participating? And so there are a number of reasons why we feel we really struck a nerve with this competition. The first is we've developed and helped students develop critical career skills. As we mentioned earlier, zero is the future. We look across all the interests with countries, with states, local governments, building codes, all moving in that direction. It is becoming an imperative to have skills to do zero energy buildings. So these are critical skills that you get by participating. And the other unique part about the competition is the ability to learn from experts who come in as jurors and thought leaders to the program, and not to mention from your peers. It's very, very special opportunity to actually benchmark yourself against 40 or 50 different programs around the country and actually just see different ways students learn and they're able to apply what they learn. It's an incredibly important opportunity you have by being in this competition. In addition, you gain insights from the world-class thought leaders who come, present, and provide really special presentations and content to the program. And then, of course, is this showcase of the future of high-performance building design that is also featured just by being in the zero energy building on campus and just what you'll learn in the competition. The hands-on experience and unique training for preparing the entries is also a very significant part of the learning. And lastly, you get to actually perform as part of a multidisciplinary team, which is the way you'll probably work in the real world. And that skill, being able to collaborate and feed off your team partners and just do more than you ever thought you could do, is really special. So this is why to participate. And we had some great experiences and outcomes from being in the competition. I'll give you a few examples to highlight of where design challenge careers have been just supercharged by being in the competition. One of the first is one of my favorites because it's Thomas Simpson, who is from the Auburn Blue team in the very first Race to Zero, our earlier name for the SolarDecathlon Design Challenge. And in the very first competition, one of the jurors observed that Thomas was a substantial talent, and he got hired to work for Digibuilt, one of the most forward-looking companies that's digitizing the housing industry and providing services to builders. And Thomas Simpson has gotten experience like probably he never would have had he not been in the competition. He's been digitizing designs and working at the forefront of developing new business opportunities, supporting builders and architects across the country. So very first competition out the gates, amazing story about what happened to a really special student who got picked up by a company in Chicago. And then another one of my favorites is Lena Burkett. She's from Appalachian State. She was such a standout in, I think, the second or third competition, and so much so that we picked her up at the Department of Energy. So she came on to work for us as a fellow, and then because, again, she was so outstanding working for us, she's now working for the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, doing great work supporting the Building America program. And she's getting experience to be at the forefront of new innovation in the housing industry. Again, that's probably uniquely made possible by being in the competition. Nathan Carre is another really exciting story. He was in a few competitions ago in the SolarDecathlon Design Challenge. He got picked up by one of the most forward-looking builders in the country, Thrive Home Builders, and Nathan is now working for them as their in-house building science manager. And for one of the most exciting builders, he's developing all sorts of new solutions, exploring almost every decision they make that involves building science. He's looking at new technologies, new building processes. Again, a career path that's hard to imagine would have happened not being in the competition. And then we have Peter Schneider, who we leverage a lot to help us with our competition, because from his experience in the SolarDecathlon, formerly Race to Zero, he got picked up by Faithful and Gould, and he is a great cost estimator, and he provides for our students training on how to do cost estimating, and so they can pick up on his skills and lessons learned. And finally, Shannon Martin is also, they're all favorites. She's another favorite. She's with Prairie View A&M out of Houston. They won the competition a couple of years ago with a really exciting project they did. Involved off-site construction and a modular way of letting homes over time really grow with the families and be built at incredibly affordable prices with very exciting design features. And again, she was so impressive, and her team was so impressive that Shannon was picked up by HOK Architects right on the spot. And we have lots and lots of these examples, and I will go on to say that the Career Connections part of the competition has become really special because it's grown from just a few tables to now 40 or 50 tables of organizations sharing with them all sorts of job opportunities for the students, and often very specific jobs. So moving on to, obviously I'm really passionate about this competition, and I want to talk about how teams, by just being at the competition, are so inspired just moving forward on everything they do in their careers. So quotes like, "I love the spirit, each team was eager to learn from each other, it was so inspiring," are the types of expressions we hear from so many different students. And so you truly, as part of the competition, will be inspired. Moving on to hands-on experience. Essentially, again, this is a way to just get in and get the kind of skills that are so important in the future and may not always be accessible from any individual course you take. It's a great competition that forces students to explore the depths of a project they would not have otherwise explored, was a great quote from one of our faculty advisors last year. And then there's the depth of creativity that our jurors just keep observing from our students. They witness the creativity of students was my favorite part. It was inspiring to see the next generation of architects, engineers, and designers not only thinking about zero energy ideas, but absorbing them and finding creative ways to expand upon them. And more every year, we just hear our jurors are so excited about the quality of the designs they see. And often we find that jurors keep wanting to come back every year because they too are inspired by this competition. And then the grand winner. Last year, it was really special that the Virginia Tech team won with an incredibly innovative design. It was a project they did for the campus back in Blacksburg, Virginia. They came off the heels of Virginia Tech winning the large SolarDecathlon in Dubai for the build challenge side of things. So they had a 1-2 punch there for Virginia Tech, but it was an amazing design, amazing solution. It was crazy, off the chart skills that they demonstrated in their presentations, in their content, and again, in their creativity. So the grand winners are truly special, and Virginia Tech last year was no different. So it brings us up to your story comes next. This is all an opportunity for you to enhance your career, and if you're a faculty member, to enhance your students' careers while they're in school. And we love to see your team story right here. And we can't wait for the next competition. And I'm going to hand off to Rachel to give you the details.
Thanks, Sam. That was wonderful to hear all that great information. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Zach, Assistant Competition Manager, to dive into the details of the design challenge.
Thanks, Rachel and Sam. So before each team gets started, they should absolutely read the design challenge rules found on the SolarDecathlon website. The rules provide information such as important dates and deliverables, the requirements for each of the divisions and contests, and details about each contest category. Also included on the SolarDecathlon website is the SolarDecathlon Guide, which provides a broader overview of the SolarDecathlon. So let's look at the overall competition timeline. First up is the team applications, which are due on November 5th. These should indicate the division you intend to compete in, and teams will be required to pay the $100 application fee. All teams who complete their team applications will be accepted and are encouraged to begin work if they have not already. You will have the option to submit a project introduction in late November, so by November 26th, which we will provide feedback on based on compliance with the design challenge rules. On February 18th, all teams are required to submit a project progress report. And based on that deliverable, up to 48 finalist teams, so 8 in each of the 6 divisions, are selected and invited to compete further with a final project report and presentation of their design at Design Challenge Weekend, held annually in April at the National Renewable Energy Lab main campus in Golden, Colorado. So teams that complete the project progress report but are not selected to participate as finalists at Design Challenge Weekend are still invited to send one attendee to the competition to present a poster as long as they complete the project report. So everyone should plan to complete their project report. So in the Design Challenge, students and teams can choose from one of six divisions based on their interests and passions. There are 3 commercial divisions and 3 residential divisions. What you choose should align with your passions and interests as a school or as a team. So are you working on a commercial project or looking to get jobs in commercial firms after graduation? Then perhaps mixed-use multifamily, elementary school, or office building are right for you. Or do you have some local builder partners of the school who already have a design they'd like to optimize or a new solution for a zero energy ready home? Then perhaps single family or attached housing divisions are right for you. It's really up to your team on what you decide on. Within each of the divisions, all projects revolve around the same principles. Each team begins by defining a target market and specific location, building lot or site, and neighborhood characteristics as context for the building design and its relationship with the surrounding structures and community. Some teams may have an industry partner, like a nonprofit, that gives some of these parameters, while others may be empowered by decisions on their university campus. Or maybe someone on your team keeps driving by that brownfield and wants to complete a design for the area. Teams are able to develop a new design or building retrofit. Just please ensure that any retrofits or upgrades continue to meet the contest definition in which you are competing. So teams then work to demonstrate the effective integration of building science principles and best practice guidelines for building systems. In your project, you should demonstrate that you're relevant to the target market that your team selects. New in 2020, teams have the opportunity to explore the Design Partners pilot program. So the Design Partners work directly with one of our students' team to develop a zero energy design for a new or existing building in their portfolio. With this commitment, the Design Partners provide 20 to 30 hours of consultation, whether that's participating in design charrettes or providing design requirements for the buildings and feedback on designs. And you can see the Design Partners website here for more information on that. The Design Challenge Contest. As we've mentioned earlier, there's one competition with the SolarDecathlon, 2 challenges with the Design Challenge and the Build Challenge, and the 10 contests are the same across the single competition. So for energy performance, this contest evaluates the building's energy use and production, as well as its capability to provide energy services, whether connected to the electricity grid or operating with on-site and or stored power. Energy performance is a primary focus, as you will see this in themes across all contests. Engineering. This contest evaluates the effective integration of high-performance engineering systems in energy-efficient and energy-producing buildings. financial feasibility and affordability. This contest evaluates the building's financial costs and ability to address growing affordability challenges in the building industry. Resilience. This contest evaluates the building's ability to withstand and recover from prevailing disaster risks for its intended location, maintain critical operations during grid disruptions that commonly occur post-disasters, and ensure long-term durability in response to local climatic conditions. Architecture. This contest evaluates the building architectural design for its creativity, overall integration of systems, and ability to deliver outstanding aesthetics and functionality along with the energy-efficient performance. Operations. This contest evaluates how effectively and efficiently the building operates to carry out intended functions while also ensuring persistence of performance. Market potential. This contest evaluates the building's responsiveness to its stated target market, likely appeal to intended occupants and construction industry, and ability to transform how energy is being used in buildings given its approach and wide-scale desirability. Comfort and environmental quality. This contest evaluates the building's capability to integrate comfort and indoor environmental quality with energy-efficient performance. Innovation. This contest evaluates the design's success in incorporating innovations and/or creative approaches that enhance energy efficiency, energy production, grid interaction, and building operations, as well as overall functionality and appeal. And finally, presentation. This contest evaluates the team's ability to accurately and effectively convey its design and energy performance strategy to relevant audiences. So, as I mentioned earlier, the design challenge application process is ongoing now, and teams must apply by November 5th, 2019. Each team should pay the non-refundable $100 application fee, and all teams that complete their applications will be accepted. Participating teams will be announced after this deadline closes. In addition, teams can produce an optional project introduction, which is due November 26, 2019. And Rachel will discuss more about this later in the presentation. The submission form will also be available a few days after the team application period closes. So, new for the 2020 Design Challenge, everyone participating will be utilizing the project site based on SolarDecathlon.skill.com. So this site will be used to assemble teams, submit deliverables, receive organizers' updates, and access a variety of materials for the challenge. All participating students and faculty must register through the site. That's important, so I'll say it again. All participating students and faculty must register through the project site. And you can see a link here. So, the project site will provide access to important resources, as I mentioned, seen here on the left. For instance, the design challenge rules and the example project summary, as well as a timeline for the competition seen in the red box in the upper right of the left image. One person from each team must create the team and then invite each member of their team to join them. So please keep this in mind. After the first person creates this team, it'd likely be maybe a faculty advisor or a student team lead. They must invite each team member to their team using the form seen on the right image here. That's an important detail to keep in mind. So everyone should register so they have access to the building science training, as well as the team information. So as team members register and are added, their information will be added to the team on the project site, as seen in the left image here. You can see Rachel Romero as the team leader for this team, and these are other Solar Decathlon organizers as the team members on her team. And as we mentioned, all teams must pay the $100 registration fee, and as you see on the right image, hit the Pay and Submit button to complete their application. So make sure you do that. As students engage for 4 to 8 months in the Design Challenge, the organizers offer several educational resources. The building science training is offered, as well as several competition information-specific webinars such as this. The REMRate software is available for download now, and organizers will have a code for extending the use of the license through the end of the project. We also have past winning presentations and designs available to give teams an idea of the competition deliverables and the caliber of the submittals that are provided to the organizers. So we keep repeating this, but it's important. All team members must complete the free building science training. The training is available online, on demand, and covers the principles of high-performance buildings as taught by renowned industry leaders. Upon completion of each video, students will be prompted to answer a few comprehensive questions. And upon completion of the entire set of videos, a certificate will be provided to show completion. So, alternatively, this building science requirement may be waived by the team's faculty lead with confirmation of equivalency of courses the student has successfully completed as indicated by the faculty advisor. So again, here you can see the certificate of completion that each student who completes the training will receive, as well as a list of the topics that are covered by the building science training. And again, by registering through the project site, you're providing us your information so we can have you registered into the building science training website. The organizers help to provide software as well for building modeling in the competition. For the residential divisions, REMRate will be made available, as I mentioned, at no charge for the teams. Check out the project site for more information. OpenStudio is a tool provided for commercial divisions. However, your team is able to use different software packages if needed. RS Means is also provided to assist with financial analysis. The design challenge really culminates with the competition event in April. The 48 finalist teams will be invited to compete in person. Information is provided to teams now about the competition event for planning purposes. The event provides a rich experience for on-site participants through networking opportunities and attending other team professional presentations. The organizers expect at least 1 and up to 5 students total from each team to attend in person, as well as 1 faculty advisor. We encourage all students who are on site to participate in the team presentations. Faculty, however, may not participate in the team presentation. The organizers do not provide financial assistance for lodging or travel expenses. A block of rooms at a hotel near NREL campus will be available at a discounted rate. Note that meals and snacks are provided at no cost over the weekends through our generous sponsor donations. The poster session encourages collaboration across the contests and divisions and opportunities to see the teams in one location during the competition. So let's go into a little bit more about what actually happens during Design Challenge Weekend. On Friday of Design Challenge Weekend, we'll gather all the students for a kickoff. Then on Saturday, students present their designs to industry jurors who will choose the top team and in each division and provide valuable feedback to all teams. On Sunday morning, 6 winners, 1 from each division, awarded trophies, as well as second place and honorable mentions. The 6 first place teams will then present to a grand jury who will choose the best 2 presentations following an 8-minute overview presentation at the award banquet. A first place grand winner will be given for residential and commercial divisions or categories. We'll talk more and provide more information about Design Challenge Weekend as we get closer to the event. So when forming your team, there are many options for putting it together. A university or college may have more than 1 team competing in different divisions. One group competes in the suburban single-family division and another in the office building, for instance. A team may be comprised of 1 or more collegiate institutions as well. Often we find a strong architecture school partnering with a strong engineering school, along with other different combinations. Student team members can be from any discipline and any level of collegiate schooling, but they must be a degree-seeking student. You will also need to have a faculty lead and a student team lead whom the organizers can contact with questions. Three total students with the faculty advisor create a complete team at a minimum. Within your team, consider looking for members outside of your program. Construction management, interior design, business, environmental programs, and many other divisions can have a great impact on the project. Students should also reach out to industry to seek additional mentorship during the design phase. Industry partnerships are encouraged because they provide market-ready perspective for proposed solutions and help select and integrate building systems into the built environment. For the design and construction of the buildings, teams are encouraged to engage with industry professionals such as builders, architects, city officials, contractors, developers, energy auditors, engineers, and tradespeople in areas such as site development, codes, construction, building materials, mechanical systems, lighting, financing, and sales. These partners can help inform the students' decision-making processes and review the project as well. It is expected that industry partners can provide support and guidance to students while the students remain responsible for design, detail, documentation, and competition activities. Make sure you check out the task overview listed in the design challenge rules to make sure you're successful in the project. So at the top of the list, of course, is read the design challenge rules. Next, you would want to review the winning team presentations and event photos found on the SolarDecathlon website. Again, these provide great perspective on the caliber that's expected at the design challenge weekend. Ensure that all team members have access to the project site. Ensure that all team members complete the building science training or have the confirmation from the team's faculty lead that equivalent training has been provided. Identify areas in which the industry partnership is needed or wanted. Again, think about where you have strengths and weaknesses or where you'd like additional information from or mentorship from industry. Design and document a project compliant with the requirements in the design challenge rules. This is important to follow all the requirements to make sure you continue to be successful in the project. Submit all materials by the deadline and note that all deadlines are 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This is important for this year, as in the past, late deliverables were accepted, but the project site has a hard stop at 5 p.m. of each deliverable deadline, so it will make it difficult for any late projects to be accepted. And finally, email the organizers throughout the competition whenever you have any questions. We are here to help you and help you be successful. And now I'll turn it back over to Rachel.
Thanks, Zach. That was great information with a lot of great details that can all be found in the Design Challenge Guide. I'm going to talk about the project introduction, which can be started at any time, but needs to be completed by November 26th. So in summary, there are 5 project submissions that take place during the Design Challenge. The first is the project introduction. This is optional, and I'm going to give you details more here. Then we have the project progress report due in February, and then we have the project report due in early April. Project presentations and project posters are due the week of the competition design challenge weekend. So we'll be having webinars throughout the year to describe each of these deliverables. In summary, the project introduction is up to 5 pages of content. It includes a 2-page project summary, 1 page of team information, and up to 2 pages of additional information as it becomes available. The project introduction really communicates the salient points of the project to all competition participants. And the project summary should be considered a high-level summary to describe the project with key points. Teams will submit the optional project introduction first as a standalone document, and then you'll integrate it into your next 2 submissions, the project progress report and the project report. So, the project summary is the first part of the project introduction. The first page of the project introduction, you will include your project, your team, and your collegiate institution names. There's a spot in the template for each of those. Please provide key images. You'll note there's an image to replace, to put in either your school logo or your team logo, and then an opportunity to include an image of your design or the neighborhood where your project's located. Include a brief description and summary of goals, your target market, and your design strategy. Then you'll provide project data. Please include the project data that's outlined in the project summary template. This helps us to quickly look at your designs and determine if your project is compliant with the design challenge rules. Then provide technical specifications. Tell us how efficient you plan for your building to be. Tell us what kind of insulation you plan to use, and maybe some highlights from your HVAC system. Then continue on to page 2 with your project highlights. These project highlights should list each of the contest categories and list how the team meets or exceeds the contest criteria listed in the Design Challenge Guide. Again, we recommend listing each contest and providing a short explanation. As Zach mentioned, you can find an example project summary, the 2-pager, on the project site. In terms of format, we've listed these out in the Design Challenge rules, and they're pretty similar from submission to submission. Standard paper size, standard formatting, borders that aren't under 1/2 inch, except for tables, figures, and images. We list your page length as no more than 5 pages. And please include a single bookmarked PDF. We have limited the file size for this introductory submission. Often we find that teams have difficulty bookmarking PDFs. This is a fairly simple task that's often missed, but is so helpful for the people reviewing your projects. We have instructions on the project site, and you can see this in the project summary posted. Please use bookmarks relevant to your submission. You can see here that it shows the project summary, design strategy, project data, technical specifications, and the project highlights here. The rules outline the instructions for the electronic file naming. The collegiate short name list can be found on the project site. So your team will then submit the project introduction to the project site. We recommend that you upload your document early to ensure that the documents can be uploaded. Additionally, we will post after the team application closes, but before project introductions are due, a collegiate short name list. This list may be different than your traditional school short name, and you'll use this in the electronic file naming. Project introductions will be evaluated based on 2 criteria. First, we'll look at the compliance with the definition of your selected division. If the division has a requirement for an EUI, then the design must meet the requirement as listed by climate zone for the building type. Please carefully review the division requirements against your design before each submission this year. Feedback will be provided to teams on only these 2 items, as this is still early in the design. We really enjoy seeing your early ideas, and this will give your team an opportunity to understand the requirements of the competition and get feedback that doesn't affect your standing in the competition. So when looking at integrated building design, there are some keys that past projects have used to ensure success. Successful teams know the details of the competition, and they know this because they read the competition rules. It has details on the project constraints, what the jurors will consider, and more. Successful teams communicate well as a team, knowing who is responsible for what. They submit their deliverables on time. The organizers require these submissions to help teams stay on track. They learn from professionals, as Zach was saying, finding industry partners who can provide guidance or reviews, suggest improvements, donate services, and more. Good teams finish. They have a good story behind why their design is the way it is and have considered all multidisciplinary aspects. Good teams explain what they are doing well to jurors, the public, and other teams. If you created something great but no one knows about it, you won't score well. Agree on joint vision and design goals and the program at the beginning of the project. Consider selecting a strong team leader early in your project, and then clearly define team roles and rules. Run effective team meetings. The team leader is key here. Ensure you have an agenda and clearly defined outcomes of each team meeting. Create an environment of respect. Each team member brings a unique perspective on the project. Remain open to others' recommendations for design input and project implementation. And create a reasonable schedule for completing the project goals. Consider setting your schedule out now, as deadlines come quickly and the organizers don't want you to miss one. And submit your work early. Successful teams submit several hours or a day before the deadline, and they work with the organizers to ensure that the deliverable has been received. And successful teams have fun. Enjoy the work together as you progress towards your final design. So, form a team and get registered on the project site. Complete a team application and get started on the 2020 Design Challenge. As you get started with your work, consider using the hashtag SolarDecathlon Design and share your team progress. We've included here a link to SolarDecathlon Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, where these webinars are posted, Instagram, and Flickr. And good luck. We hope that your team will be getting one of these trophies at the 2020 Design Challenge weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at sddesign@nrel.gov. Thank you.